Welcome back to Constant Shenanigans. Today, we're going to be building a guitar hanger plaque. That looks a little bit something like this. Now, this is not the one we're going to build today. This is what it's going to look like. Kind of shaped like a guitar, but it's just kind of a shim, a plaque. It's going to have a shelf to hold an accompanying miniature amplifier, and it's going to be finished in a way that resembles whatever guitar it's going to be hanging. So with that, should be a good video. Let's get into it.
Make it work!
Sure. Put it in here. Just wrap it. So like any of these projects, this project comes with a story. So one day, I'm just scrolling around on the phone, looking for ways to hang these guitars up before they were hung up. And I ran across this one. I couldn't find it again. Honestly, I tried to record this video, but I couldn't find it again. And I looked for, one of these guitar hangers, and I ran across one that was in the shape of a guitar, but it was like all black. And it was like, this big, about this big. Couldn't find it again. Searched and searched and searched. Couldn't find it again. So I ran across also a product where it was a shelf that the guitar hung from, and then other stuff for the guitar hung from it too. And I'm like, well, hey, I'm handy. I can make stuff. I should be able to make this. I should be able to make this not generic shape of guitar, but the color and the shape of the specific guitar it's going to hang. And that started a journey. What could I do it? And so I went through it step by step. What would I do? And if I was going to show you guys how to do it, how would I show you guys how to do it at home? So let's review a couple things you're going to need. First, a scroll saw is pretty required for this. Now, you could probably get away with it with a bandsaw and a very thin blade, but not a lot of people have bandsaws. A scroll saw is something that you can pretty much mount on your tabletop or your workbench, and then you can cut some stuff out with it. A drill for making the slots for the shelf and for making the holes for the pre-hangers. A already bought and purchased guitar hanger block with its own hardware. And preferably something solid like a stud to mount it into, so your guitar doesn't, take a trip south. So those are essentially, besides what you're going to use to finish it. With this one, I used some red powder stain and some wipe-on clear poly, and I had to put about 5 or 6 layers of clear gloss poly to get this to look this way. The wood I chose, the plywood I chose was probably a veneer plywood. I mean, it just soaked everything up I put on it. Like, it took forever to get this thing in a presentable finish. And I know the shelf is kind of uneven. It was my first one. I wasn't going to show you guys how to make the first one. Well, this one's going to be a little bit different. This time, the shelf is going to be one of these supports in the middle, so that there's a little bit less cutting. On the back, you can see that I made 3 slots for the shelf to go into, so that it's glued and then supported by one brace at the bottom. Now, what this is going to hold is a miniature guitar amp, and these things, I mean, they weigh ounces. This shelf you know, it's pretty solid. Like, it's gonna hold it. It's gonna hold it just fine. I originally drilled 2 holes in it. One down here in line with the one up here. And I left this hole marked but not drilled because until I put one of these on it, I don't know exactly where that hole's going to go. But when I get ready to mount on the wall, I'll be able to drill out that next hole. And I'm going to use a band sticker from all you wonderful bands out there to cover this screw hole. That way I have some bands and a guitar hanger that looks like the guitar is hanging up, a place for the mini amp, or mini amps since I collect them, and, you know, that's kind of what we're going to build today. So the guitar we're going to focus on today is the Ibanez. And the Ibanez is solid red in color with some black, but we're just going to do solid red paint. I think it's the same paint I painted the guitar with, to tell you the truth. It was just spray paint and a clear coat. But we're going to do that one next. We're going to do that one this time. And, well, let's get into it. I know I mentioned tools you needed, like a scroll saw and a drill. But there's other tools you're going to need. I always leave something out. I always do. So, a pencil and a large sketch pad. And I mean large. Like it's an extra large one. This is what we're going to use to outline the shape of the guitar. It's not going to be real, like actual size. We're going to shrink it down a little bit so it's more like a replica, miniature part of it. It's still going to be big enough to hold a shelf off to the side of it, but it's not going to be the same exact size as the body. You're going to need wood glue. I think I left that out. And then whatever you're going to finish it. Sandpaper, of course. Sandpaper. Yeah. Because nobody wants to remember sandpaper. I'm also going to be using a Dremel in order to like kind of finish the final shape of it and kind of give the edges a sanding because they're kind of tight for the sander I'm going to use. It's going to be a DA sander, I think, from Harbor Freight, and a Dremel. So let's go through the list. A scroll saw, a drill, a Dremel. The drill bits just have to be big enough for the scroll saw blades to fit through because you're going to be doing some holes in the middle of the wood. Where was I? Dremel. Scroll saw, drill, Dremel, sander, wood glue. Yeah, that should be all you need to do this, I think. And whatever finish you're going to use. And it can match any of the guitars up here. In a future video, I'm going to be doing the one for this classical guitar, and I'm going to be using coffee to stain that wood. Let's see how that turns out. If you want to see that video, leave it in the comments. Leave the word coffee in the comments, and I will be sure to shoot that video and get it out as soon as I can. And I'll make one and just show the coffee staining, if you guys want to see how that goes. All right, so let's get into it, man. thing I want to do is cut out the entire outline of what I drew. Rough outline is done. It's just a really rough outline, and it'll be finished shaped with the Dremel, but it's pretty close. Alright, next up, I have to drill out all the holes for the pass-through for the blades. Now that I have all the pass-throughs cut, I need to cut that bottom one a little bit wider. Now that that's done, the thing is pretty much done. So it's time for a dry fit. Alright, so here's the dry fit. Anyway, alright, so here's the dry fit. First, this piece goes in here, fits nice and snug, like a nose. Then this piece slides in here, get it right, and it rests on that for support. Now, no glue in it at all. And this is the amp that goes on it. Holds just fine without any glue. With glue, it'll hold it even better. So, yeah. Yep, we'll get that done. We'll glue it up, but first we're going to shape it with the Dremel.
Make sure you secure your workpiece down before any dremeling. That way you can have both hands on the Dremel.
Now remember, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect shape. It is just the decoration that goes behind the guitar. So I'm going to get a file when we get out to the garage. I'm going to get a file and kind of smooth out these edges. Get the orbital sander, DA sander, or whatever, and kind of go over the whole thing, kind of get it ready for paint, get rid of element splinters, and then we're going to shoot it while we're out there. We're going to hang it from the holes that we drilled for the mounts. Alright, I'll see you out in the garage.
For painting, I wired this up to the ceiling rafter.
We'll just hang the guitar thing from that. Now that we're out here, we got the paint ready. Now we just got to get the sanding done. Check back in with you when it's done. Alright, now that we got the sanding done, now it's time for paint. We're going to be painting this with the red, same red the guitar was painted with, and a coat of clear. You're going to watch me do that right now. We're also going to be painting the shelf both sides. You won't be able to see it from top to bottom. I'll see if the spray works. It's only been 3 years. Apparently it works. All right. Alright, well that's good enough for the first coat. We don't want any runs in it. We don't want to do any more work than we have to. So we're going to sit and let that dry for a little bit. I'm going to hit it with a couple more coats. And tomorrow morning, we're going to come out here. We're going to see what it looks like. And then we're going to get it up on the wall. See? Also, don't forget to visit the Constant Shenanigans Facebook page, where you can find all of our content on YouTube. And, you know, like and follow that as well. If you get a chance, check out this band. And also my band, Nonferrous. You'll find us on all the streaming platforms. And we have a page on Facebook. Follow. Listen to the music. Let me know what you think. Back to the video. Hey everybody, it's the next day. Still having my coffee. Looks like it didn't do too bad. Tell you what we'll do today. We'll glue this thing up while we're out here. And then we'll take it in the house to cure for about an hour or so. We'll give it a nice buffing. And well, then we'll hang it up on the wall. Finish this video for you. Yeah, sounds like a plan. I'll see you on the inside. Oh yeah, that didn't turn out too bad. I'll buff it out, make it even. That's pretty good. Actually, looks about as good as the stained one. It's dry. I can get some glue on this. Neighbors mowing again. Oh, it's like every 3 days, man. It's hard to shoot anything out here with their mowing. Should probably move to shooting in the winter if I ever get heat out here. I'll put this on the step for glue. You can't see it, so yeah, you'll see it finished on the inside. In there. So here it is. It's been dry. I just buffed and sanded it and waxed it. So the glue, what used to be clear, has now been reconstituted with water, so it's going to look like that. But this is the painted one we just got done doing, compared to the stained one that we did before. But this one here also has about 5 coats of polyurethane on it, as opposed to 2 coats of spray clear. So yep. So there they are, fully done, ready to put on the wall. So let's get these things hung. Alright, we'll start by taking one of these down. Oh. This is going to be the stained one. Let's sit you here. Nice and gentle back. Oh, I'm going to pull this out. Well, take this off first. These normally come with some pretty large, long screws, but these are pretty much the standard drywall screws. This is going into lap board behind the plywood, so where the studs are really doesn't matter that much. So we're going to start with this one. And then that's how it's going to look with the hanger on it. Kind of got it a little high on this one, but that's all right. So need to mark our next hole. We'll use that screwdriver and just it kind of made it for us. So that's in there. And we'll put it back up. not the most level of things, but it is in there. And we'll drive our extra support screw. Make sure it's nice and solid. And then we'll screw this back in. Yeah, if I can pretty much hold on to it, it ain't going anywhere. I'll try to drive the support one in just a little more. Since this next one is a 1/2 inch thick as opposed to a 1/4 inch thick up there, I'm going to use at least 2 3-inch screws to hold that in. One at the very top and then one at the bottom. You're going to rely on the drywall screw to kind of hold the bottom part of that from wobbling back and forth, and then this screw hole down here will keep it from moving in and out. It took me like forever to find these. Oh, and our camera died. Turns out we ran out of space. Yeah. Oh. Extra stuff. Alright, I got that down. I can sit right there. So there's the position of this one. It's a little bit lower. Kind of like it. I guess we'll see what it looks like. Go ahead and drive that bottom screw in. We can get some bite. That's still square. Under my seat. Alright, this top one we're going to replace with the 3-inch screw. Alright, there's some poking out. A little bit poking out. Bottom one. Alright. So we'll line these two up with the holes that are previously up there. We'll just call that an anti-sway screw. It just can't move side to side. In and out's okay. I give it some tugs, it ain't going nowhere. Alright. Let's hang the guitar up. Might have to move this ladder. Looks like that'll work. Then the miniature amp goes with it. Be the box, little mini. And that goes there. And there we go. I'm well aware that the shelf is kind of facing down at an angle. So I will probably put something across the front of that to keep it from sliding down off. When it dried at an angle, and there's not a whole lot I can do about it now, but I can at least install like a little lip right here, keeps it from coming off. I don't think it's going anywhere though. We get to rocking in here though, it might vibrate off. But. All right, and there's the finished product. So now when I have a guitar I'm using, I can see which one I'm using, I guess. It's a nice little decoration for the room. I like it. And move on to this one. Yeah. And I got a place to store the miniature amp. In the future, if I feel like it, I'll probably paint that stuff in black up there. But for now, it'll work. So thank you for watching up to this point. Please like, subscribe, tell your buddies, tell your friends. Let's get some people in this channel supporting it. And from all of us to all of you, you have a great day. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. Oh, almost forgot the best part. Local band stickers. They're going to cover up that screw. And, you know, yeah, we could probably just cover it in stickers. That one's getting one too. All right. And this one. There we go. Thanks for watching.